Okay guys, now we're beginning a new chapter. We're gonna talk about percents as fractions and decimals a whole lot, alright? So lesson 17.1 is all about how to write percents as fractions and decimals. And I'm going to show you, it really is very easy if we understand that percent means per hundred, okay? And it always talks about the ratio between a number to 100, which is the total that I want to think about always. We also have to remember percents gotta be written to the lowest terms every time we represent them as ratios or fractions. Please don't forget that the characteristics of fractions here are also gonna be the same as we have always used them. They just have different meanings, but characteristics just stay the same. So problem 46 says, suppose 1,000 teens were surveyed in problem 44. How many of the teens said they like to spend time at the mall after school? Then explain. So what we have is 1,000 teens surveyed. And we have to come back to problem 44 and think about those 17 teens out of every 100 that liked to spend time in the mall, right? So we're gonna build the proportion with that. So 17 to 100, then we know we have a total of 1,000 teens, and we need to find how many teens out of 1,000 like going to the mall. Again, we're just gonna do cross product together. That is equal to 100x, and of course this is gonna be 17,000 equals 100x, which of course we just have to divide into 100 in both sides to isolate x. And we know it's all about just getting rid of the zeros here. So this is our answer, okay? That's how you have to find it. So we can tell 170 teens are going to be spending time in the mall. If you think about this lesson, it's pretty simple. You only have to figure out the characteristics of fractions working here in ratios, specifically in percents. So every time you have the grid, that grid has 100 little squares. You just have to be able to find out how many little squares are shaded compared to the 100, which is the total. And then you just have to write down the fraction and find the percent. It's really that simple. We just really have to say anything else than that. And of course, that ratio can be written as a percent, and I can have a percent written as a fraction as well. Let's go and read problem number 47. It says girls made up 1% less than half of the 44% of teens who said they like to spend weekend time at the mall. Use a 10 times 10 grid to show this percent. Now if you want to do the grid, it's fine, but I don't really think we need it. Let's just think about the percent they're telling us to begin with. We have 44% of the teens. Those 44%, they like to spend time at the mall, right? Now they say, the problem says that have 1% less than half of 44 is girls. So what we need to think about is, okay, how about I get half of this first, right? And then they say that 1% less than half is girls. So I just need to take that 22% and subtract the 1%. Remember, less than switches everything out. And so I have 21%. So that's it. I don't really have to do the grid, but if you want to do it, it's fine. You can do it, all right? So just please keep that in mind. It's all about writing down the ratios. Remember, every time we say add of, that means we're comparing a number to 100. And we need to write it down as a ratio or as a fraction. And that would allow us to get the percents, okay? All right, I'll see you in lesson 17.2.